thought it might be interesting to talk about the software that I use to keep track of my comic book inventory. Right now I have a little over 4,200 books inventoried. My feeling is that my wife would like me to get that down to about 4,150. But that hasn't happened yet, and that collection continues to grow. And in order for me to know what's in it, I need to find a way to inventory it. I used to use an Excel spreadsheet that I built, this one right here. And the way it works is I have a tab for each box that I have comics stored in. At the time, right now it's 33 boxes. And this spreadsheet tells me what's in each box, what issues are in each box, and I created some other information that was interesting to me. How many books are in the box, how many total books I have in this spreadsheet, and the average number of books per box. That number is just something I was wondering how many I was getting in each box. These are short boxes. Those of you that use long boxes will know you can get quite a few more in it, but I use short boxes because they fit better in my closet. This spreadsheet, however, doesn't hold a whole lot of information other than title and issue number. And I always wanted to see more data about the books I have in the collection. So I finally decided to jump in and buy an inventory program. And I bought the product from Collectorz.com. They make a lot of different inventory programs for different types of media. So you can see movies, books, albums, and games. I think there's some record collectors out there that might really be interested in this. Keep up with your record collection. But I use the comic version. And what it allows me to do is, I have the desktop version, by the way. There's also an app version and a web-only based version. I have the desktop version. It is a little bit more, but it also has a lot more features in it than some of these other ones do. But if you wanted to get started, you could use the app version of it. So we'll go ahead and open up that collector application and show you kind of what I've got in there. This is the entirety of my collection right now, outside of a few books that I quite haven't put in yet. The number here is 4,210, so it's a little more than my Excel spreadsheet, and mostly that has to do with just what I've inventoried and what I haven't, but most of it's here. You'll see that you have options for all of the titles. You can sort by letter, you can sort by all. There's a search function up here. And it tells you a lot more information than I could ever get in my Excel spreadsheet. I've got a cover image. It tells me when it was published, what the title of the story is, what it might have cost, retail, and all the creative information, number of pages. Just a lot of information that someone might be interested in. You can double click on any issue and even fill out more information here. This is for custom information. You can actually fill in the location in your collection, like what box it is. I don't use that function because I've already got it in the Excel spreadsheet, and I do keep both of those as current as possible. You can select in here if you're looking for books, so if it's not in your collection but you're interested in it, you can create a want list. I use a feature here that is the pull list. This allows me to set up the books that I get on a monthly basis or a recurring basis if they're still coming out recurring. And every time I have a new comic to inventory, I can just select it here and automatically put it in. One of the neat features of this software that I like is the statistics tab. This gives me quite a lot of information. Again, all of this is just useless information that only a person in the hobby would really care about. But it tells me what series I have the most books in. Right now it's The Walking Dead. And the only reason that is like that is because books like Batman, The Flash, Superman, those tend to restart, and those are counted as different books. So if you added up all the Batman titles, it would actually be much higher than this. There's some other statistics on creators. If I wanted to find out who has written the most books in my collection, you can find that that's Jeff Johns. See some other statistics there. I could set that as a pie chart, bar graph, change around how I want to see it. I think that's kind of neat. Fairly useless. It doesn't pay the bills, but it does allow me to look at information. I do like to see who the artist is on a book. And this information comes from the information that's set up on the book itself. So sometimes this doesn't come from the database as detailed as you would like it, but you can add information to it. They do keep a very detailed database of all the books out there, so you don't have to enter most of this information. You can see there's the number of pages, there's the cover price, release date. Sometimes it'll have a month and day, sometimes it's just the year. It really all depends. And you can actually fill this information in and submit that data to the core database, and if it's accurate, they might accept it and update that for everybody else. All kinds of stuff you can do in here. You could fill out the plot. That's a lot to do for a 4,000 book collection. It'd be a lot to do for a 10,000 book collection, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have more than that. My collection is actually not that big in comparison, but it is a nice piece of software. I keep it on the update path. It's very inexpensive a year to buy the updates, but when you do that, you get new features constantly, and I like that. I actually bought a year and a half because they had a deal last time I bought it, so I still have over 300 days left of my update plan. And that is Comic Collector.